Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and this is your coronavirus tech news for Friday, April 10th of 2020, and we're going to dive right in. We've got two really good articles coming out of TechCrunch, and let's get to it. Now, the first one is entitled, Facebook Starts Prompting U.S. Users to Fill Out a COVID-19 Survey to Help Track the Virus. And here we go. Now, according to this, a couple of days ago, some Facebook users will now see a new pop-up on the app asking them to complete a survey about COVID-19. I checked my own, and sure enough, I also had the ability to fill out this survey. Now, this survey is actually from Carnegie Mellon University's Delphi Epidemiological Research Center, and it is one of the many new symptom mapping projects that seeks to anticipate the next wave of where this virus is going to hit, as basically it's going through the population all over the planet. Now, as often the case with research, the challenge for these mapping efforts is attracting a large enough sample of respondents to basically paint a statistical map of this so that Carnegie Mellon's research can actually properly track this. Basically, hooking up with Facebook and basically Facebook promoting Carnegie Mellon's survey means that they can instantly reach basically a massive pool of users, the largest that has ever been created in social media history. And there we go. Now, according to TechCrunch, Facebook declined to provide details of how many users will be basically seeing this new prompt for the survey. But if we're looking at a subsection of the U.S. users over the age of 18, that would be utterly massive. We have literally billions of Facebook users around the world, so this could actually be a valuable tracking tool. But according to Facebook's announcement, the survey data collected will aid public health planning around resource allocation and eventually, and I quote, when, where, and how to reopen parts of society. So they are doing this basically to see if we can use that statistical model to see if there are going to be pockets or geographical pockets around wherever you are, in this case here in the United States, if we can open up some areas that are simply not being hit by the coronavirus. And as always, when it comes to Facebook, the biggest problem we have is the massive breach of privacy that Facebook basically is. They are a massive breach of privacy as they collect all of this. So if Carnegie Mellon is getting all this information, it is very possible, and it is probably what's happening, that Facebook is going to get a copy of this information, which means they may be able to use that or sell that in another way. And the biggest problem I have with this is that we are seeing, at least here in the United States, that insurance companies, I can take the example of the state of New York, that recently allowed insurance companies to be able to data mine you for statistical analysis. And so if you are basically presenting the symptoms of coronavirus and you are filling out this Facebook survey, insurance companies may be able to see this and say, oh, we have a customer, we have an existing member that has the coronavirus, and how does that impact you? The problem that we have, and I trust Carnegie Mellon, quite frankly, in terms of them collecting research and legitimately wanting to help, but Facebook has been all about money. And that's a very serious issue. And I cannot believe I'm actually going to say this, but I would have trusted Twitter more than I would have trusted Facebook. Twitter is where civility goes to die. But as I mentioned yesterday in my video, the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, is basically spending $1 billion to help the coronavirus. So we'll see where this goes. I have no doubt that the vast majority of that, 3 to 4 billion user population that Facebook has will never see this video. And so they are going to go through with this. And part of me would also want to take this to help Carnegie Mellon, and Facebook, Lord knows, has a ton of information on everybody already. But here we are. So take that for what it's worth. If you see this, feel free to fill it out, but, heads up, you now know the caveats. And moving on to the other TechCrunch article, and this is absolutely awesome. This article was entitled, Apple has sourced over 20 million protective masks, now building and shipping face shields. Now, here's what's going on. Apple is actually working with governments around the world to distribute its supply of face masks to where they see the most need, strategically. Now, the first delivery of the company's face shields went out to Kaiser Hospital facilities in the Santa Clara Valley earlier this week. This is according to Tim Cook, current CEO of Apple. So I'm guessing they rolled these out as a test to the Kaiser Permanente facilities that are in their area. Now, Cook also noted, though, that the masks basically pack flat. They can put 100 in a box. They can be assembled in less than 2 minutes and are also fully adjustable. This is probably keeping within Apple's traditionally very good design. I don't care if you love or hate Apple products, they are designed very well. Their face masks are probably no different. Now, Cook said that the company would ship 1 million of these masks by the end of the week, and they expect to ship an additional 1 million face masks or face shields, weekly, with the goal to basically distribute these in the United States and well beyond. Cook said, and I quote, "For Apple, this is a labor of love and gratitude, and we will share more of our efforts over time." Now, there have been others joining this. Basically, this is like a 3D printing cause. This is what Apple's doing. They're 3D printing all of these. But if we look around the world, and even here back in the United States, we see other companies that are doing this. So, for example, in Canada, Inksmith, which is a startup that makes design and tech tools accessible for children, has now basically moved to making face shields, and they are hiring 100 new employees to actually meet this demand, I'm assuming in Canada and hopefully beyond. Other 3D printing companies like the Massachusetts-based Markforged and Formlabs, and also in Brooklyn, New York, Voodoo Manufacturing, are all now making personal protective equipment like face shields here in the United States. So that's very heartwarming. And I have to say, on a complete aside, it has been very cool to see the entire tech industry and also the world outside of the tech industry come together to really combat this. Most of us are understanding we need to shelter in place. Most of us are understanding we need to be wearing protective equipment. We need to be defending our hospitals and our infrastructure, not to mention supplying our critical infrastructure and hospitals with things like face shields and masks and other protective equipment, which brings us to the COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition. We continue to gather this intelligence, and I am not going to go through all of the updates here because they are coming in fast and furious. Now that we have 3,000 plus members, all in the cybersecurity community, now sharing critical intelligence among ourselves, and that has been amazing to see. I'm just simply saying, if you are a hospital, while Apple is shipping you this protective gear and Inksmith is sending you your protective gear up in Canada and all of these other companies as well, make sure that you are defending your hospital properly with cybersecurity. I'm sure your cybersecurity staffs are working overtime to defend you, but make sure that they are also connecting to the COVID-19 Cyber Threat Coalition and other organizations as well to get that real-time updated threat intelligence so that your hospital staff isn't accidentally going to the wrong website or clicking the wrong link or downloading the wrong thing as they are trying to order these desperately needed supplies. So with that, we are all in this together, and I'm beyond happy to sit here and talk about that. And with that, that is your coronavirus news of the week. Don't trust Facebook, trust Carnegie Mellon. Apple's doing a good job, as are a lot of others. And here we are. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter, at Nick AESP. And also feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.